Hello lovelies! So today I came across a video that I was apparently editing but never actually finished and posted. So I'm going to be doing that today. I'm going to be editing it and then finishing it up for you guys. It's all about how to turn. And I don't mean turn like you're going to turn on the rink, but I mean turn like in a 360. So that's what we're going to be learning today. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so when you're first learning to roller skate, it's important that you do so on a clean surface. You don't want to be tripping over any big obstacles or things like gravel patches. So if your area is not clean, go ahead and pause, get to a safe, clean space, and then we can start the video. Hello lovelies! Today on Loren, I'm going to be teaching you how to spin. The first thing you want to do is figure out which side is going to be your dominant side that you like to spin on. This is going to be your normal side, and the other side that you spin would be your goofy side. To do this, you just want to pay attention to what side feels more comfortable for you to turn. For me, it's my left side. Now, balance is pretty important for this part, so it's good if you can go forwards, backwards, and also turn a little bit. But you're going to basically want to get in a good position where you feel comfortably balanced and keep your center of gravity pulling you upwards. You don't want to be leaning one direction or another because then you're more likely to fall. Then when you feel comfortable, you're going to want to step in the direction that you want to turn, and then you're going to follow that step with your other foot. This is called open and close method, and other YouTubers go in more detail, but just make sure your knees are bent and your balance is sturdy. Now when you're starting to do this, it's also important that you realize what exactly is happening with your legs. Most of your weight should be centered on the leg that's not moving, and then you can freely move that other leg up and down. And what I found is that this motion right here, the turning of a C shape, really helps you practice the way your foot is going to be positioned when you're actually spinning. So this right here is what that should look like. And you can do it with both legs, right and left, and that'll get you an idea of the way your skate is going to be turning while you're spinning in a circle. Now the direction you choose to move the skate that's moving is going to be the direction that you turn. So right there I turned to the left because my left skate moved first, and then my right skate followed. While you're doing this, it's a really good idea to pay attention to which direction you have to point your toe and where the weight in your foot is. Notice that my knees are bent and I'm still sort of making a bouncing motion as I'm turning, which helps me use that momentum to keep my feet going the direction I want them to. This is going to help you emulate this open motion that we have when we're spinning. For example, I like to imagine there's a big ball that I'm holding on to in between my legs. That helps me get the open bubble position that we're going to need for this move. So anyway, once you start getting comfortable moving that first foot while keeping the other one still, you can start moving the second one after, and eventually, if you do it fast enough, you can actually spin like this. But it's important to keep your legs engaged, your core engaged, and your body center of gravity upwards. Also, the more focus you give to your feet, the better technique you're going to have later. So notice where you're leaning and where your weight is. Another way to go about turning is noting that wherever your top body or your torso is pointing, your bottom body and your feet are going to follow. To do this, you kind of have to have a little bit more of a send it attitude where you just know that wherever your torso is going to go, your feet are going to follow. Just remember you're going to need to keep your body aligned, your knees bent, and use your core. If you're going to do it this way, it's still important that you remember to work on your footing because your feet need to be angled a certain way for you to turn correctly. But when you do start turning, you're going to be kind of having a more open stance and you're going to be bouncing a little bit in the turn. I feel like this way engages more of your muscles, and you can kind of see on my body which muscles are being used as I'm doing this. Also, it really helps if you work on your balance by lifting your feet up while you skate, because then you can kind of get an idea of which foot is being pressured where. For me, when I'm turning over my left, I can see that more of my pressure on my left foot is actually in the wheel, and more of the pressure on the right foot is actually in the heel. Knowing which wheel has pressure, the front or the back on which foot, helps you spin in different ways later on, like this 2-wheel spin that I did right here. This is also particularly important when you're going to be spinning goofy, or the side that you're not dominant in, because it's going to take more balance for you to do, and you're going to have to be applying these methods all over again, just like you did when you first were beginning to spin. And just really quickly, as I'm editing, here's a clip of me not keeping my center of gravity, and you can see what happens. It's more easy for me to fall because I wasn't standing up straight and keeping my center of gravity and my core activated. So this is what that would look like from your point of view, looking downwards. And notice how I'm pushing my foot as far as it can go past my other stagnant foot. The further you push it past the stagnant foot, the more the stagnant foot is going to want to move. And that's when you can start moving the other foot the way that we did at the beginning. Notice here there is resistance because I'm spinning goofy, which would be the same thing as you guys learning to spin in general. So you might be getting a little bit of resistance, and what I learned there is to just make sure you're putting weight in the areas that it needs to be on your foot. The better you figure that out, the better it is for you to be spinning. When you're messing around with this, it might be a good idea to just lift your foot up slightly on the foot that's moving and resisting and see where you need to put the pressure. So if you can lift your foot up and you spin better, maybe you need less pressure at the front. This problem I'm experiencing right here is that I have one foot that is C-shaping really well and the other foot that's not really wanting to C-shape very well. So what I think I should do is stop for a second and then go back to that C-shape and keep practicing it over and over and over until my foot gets comfortable doing what I want it to do. And of course, this is going to take lots of time and effort. One other thing that you can do if you're worried about your balance is grab onto something like a trash can and practice this motion that I taught you on that. And a good thing with having a trash can or some kind of wall to hold on to is that you can also push off of this thing to practice spinning. So when you get that hang of what you want to do, but you're not quite ready to let go of something yet, you can just push off and grab right back on. And if you're not quite ready to just push off altogether, you could just rotate your hands and go that way. Okay, you guys, so I hope that was helpful for you. I know that this is a pretty beginner-friendly trick, so if you're in the intermediate, I'm going to be doing a little bit more intermediate things here soon. But I wanted to do something for the beginners because I know that it is a struggle and scary sometimes to be on your skates. Literally every time I'm on my skates, no matter what I'm doing, I always have the thought that I'm going to die, even though I'm not, and that's totally irrational. But let me know if you feel that way too in the comments down below. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe because all of those things help me figure out what kind of videos you guys want to see. Thank you guys so much for the community that we're building, and love, Loren.